All right, Chuck's Chat, YouTube. The boys are back. Week 3, college football. We had quite the week 2. Almost 2 huge upsets. Toledo somehow didn't beat Notre Dame. They 100% should have won that game. Should the guy have gone down? Should he not have gone down? Who's to say? That was probably the right play, but when you're losing, it's the right play, and then it just ended up costing the game. Texas A&M almost loses to Colorado. Their quarterback is now down. One thing that I did love, and I wanted to start with this off the top, the Pitt Panthers go down to Rocky Top, put on an absolute clinic. The defense was awesome. They gave a lot of points, but they made the plays when they needed to. Put the pressure on. Kenny Pickett, lights out performance. I need a State of the Union on the Pitt Panthers. I'm all in. I love the Pitt Panthers.
Well, we're going to win the next 2 games. They're kind of joke teams. Virginia Tech at the Sandman, week 5, I believe, and Clemson. 2 biggest games of the season, probably. I think we can beat Tech, and then Clemson's the big catch-up bottle. Who knows? That's my outlook. I'm taking it game by game though right now.
Right, it's
expecting big things.
And speaking of Tech, West Virginia hosting them this week. We'll get into that game. I guess one place I wanted to start for a discussion. Our top 10s going into week 3. Barry, I want to start with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, mine looks pretty similar to, I think, the AP one that came out yesterday. I got 1 Bama, 2 Georgia, 3 Oregon, 4 Oklahoma, 5 Iowa, 6 Clemson, 7 Cincinnati, 8 A&M, 9 Ohio State, 10 Florida. If you notice, there's 2 teams I purposely left out, but that's no bias, and I fully believe these 2 teams do not belong at the top 10. No bias.
Okay. I am having trouble figuring out the second team because I know
Penn State, Notre Dame.
Are they in the top 10?
I think
they're out.
I thought they snagged the 10 spot.
I think they're 12.
Well, either way, I wouldn't. They're not my top 10.
I like that ranking. I'm in on that. Ben?
So I got Alabama Roll Tide 1, Georgia Go Bulldogs 2, the Pittsburgh Panthers at number 3, the Iowa Hawkeyes number 4, Oregon Go Ducks number 5, Oklahoma Sooners number 6, Cincinnati Bearcats number 7, UCLA Chip Kelly shout out number 8, Ole Miss number 9, and Tech number 10.
Did you say Ole Miss?
Yep.
All right. I respect it.
So, can you imagine New Year's Day, college football playoff, Iowa Pitt?
I can't. It will be a great day, though.
That would be a great day. Great day for college football fans. Mine are, I guess not similar at all to Ben's, but more similar to Ferry's, Alabama.
I bet teams in your top 10 lost games already.
That's true.
Mine have it.
True. I like the way you do that. I kind of did my brain's not working. I kind of meshed the 2 ideas together. Whoever has the best resumes go at the top for me. So Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Iowa, Oklahoma, Cincinnati, Ohio State, Clemson, Penn State, and Florida. I guess Clemson doesn't really have a resume. They beat South Carolina State and lost to Georgia, but I feel like it would have been too disrespectful to take them out. And it's good to have them there for when Pitt does beat them. It'll look like a better way.
I've changed mine. I'm dropping Tech out. Clemson's number 10. You're right.
Really, you should have Pitt right behind.
Oh, actually, wait. No, I'm going back. Tech's number 10 because Pitt plays them week 5. So we'll beat a top 10 team, and then Clemson will move up week 6.
Oh, they're probably going to drop out after this weekend because of certain team they're playing, but
That's a good point, my fair. That is a good point. So I guess most impressive and least impressive. Which teams from week 2 did you like the most, Ben? which teams from week 2 were you're out on? They kind of showed themselves that they're really not a quality football team.
Definitely, Notre Dame is not a quality football team. Notre Dame and Texas A&M, I think, are not quality football teams. I think they're definitely going to be maybe out of the ranking at the end of the year. We'll see if they can stack up wins. Most impressive, I'd probably go with my Pitt Panthers or the Oregon Ducks for the show they put on at Buckeye Stadium.
Yeah, I would go Oregon most impressive. Least impressive, honestly, I think Texas was way less impressive than Notre Dame. As unimpressive as Notre Dame was, I think did they lose by 30 to Arkansas?
Yeah, but that was a big game for Arkansas.
Yeah, that is true. Ferry, what do you think?
I think it lies in both in the same matchup, Iowa and Iowa State. I was very disappointed in Iowa State. I think now that the USC jobs open up, Matt Campbell might be, thinking about that the rest of the season. Iowa State's season could be in jeopardy for the rest of the way now. But to the same token, Iowa went in there and won a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Shout out to Iowa's coach for being there for like 22 years. I was not aware before the game.
Yeah.
That's Kirk Ferentz. He's in the Bill Belichick coaching tree.
Oh, of course.
Fun fact. Yeah, with the 95 Browns.
Wow.
A little history lesson for that. All right, so records, very cleaned up this past week. 12-6. He is now 20-15-1, 57%. One of the only games he lost was his lock, which is kind of crazy.
It was a tough one. The way that lost was, I was following that on Gamecast all game. It was brutal. It was like 35-7 at halftime, I think. Something ridiculous. And I was sweating it out with the last 5 minutes until I think Florida scored at the last garbage time with 5 minutes left. Put it over by 4 points. Oh.
Then I am in second, 17-15-3, 2-0 on locks, 53%. Liberty felt way too easy, and it turned out that it was. It was so easy, it was scary, and they won.
And first half.
And first half, yes, you double dipped on that. And then Ben 18-25-1.
Not great.
No, Pitt at least is making up for you.
Yes, I also don't bet the same on each game, so I pretty much went even because Pitt was a hometown favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, not good. I gotta improve myself.
You and Pitt's performance are inversely related. So do you hope that you don't start doing well?
No comment.
All right, let's get into some games. First up, I really want to say this is personally my favorite game of the week, but I think Penn State Auburn's my favorite game of the week. Cincinnati, Indiana. Cincinnati going to Indiana. They are a 3-point favorite when I bet it. I don't know what it is now. It might be 3.5 now, and then the over/under is 50. Ferry, want to start with you. What do you think about this game?
I love everything that you said. You woke up this morning with a great, ready to roll attitude, and I took it with you. I'm like, hey, Chuck's my guy. I got to ride with him. But I got in a 3.5, fortunately. I still love it.
I got in a 3. I already took it. I'm in. I'm all in on Cincinnati. This would be my lock, but it seems too obvious, so it will not be. So I'm all in.
Yeah, love Cincinnati so much. They had 2 Super Bowls on the schedule. This is the first one. They've been thinking about this game since they got on the plane to fly back from the show.
Chuck.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there you are.
There you are.
Okay, it's not the same as if they would have beaten Indiana last year when they're ranked, and that whole momentum going would still be a huge win. Very excited for that. Barry, you're going to say something. I kind of cut you off.
I was going to say they were also going to be my lock of the week, but I didn't want to take I thought they were going to be yours. So I didn't want to take. I don't take the credit for it. So.
Okay.
But I do love that pick because of you.
All right, thank you. So unanimous on Cincinnati there. Next up, primetime college game day will be in Happy Valley. We have the Matt Leinart, Vince Young of our generation. Bo Nix versus Sean Clifford. Penn State -6.5. Over under is 53. Ferry, what do you like in this one?
Well, we know what Kirk Herbstreit likes about this game. We're not going to get into those details because this is a G-rated program. But I some things. The whiteout game obviously is going to be crazy. We've all been to a whiteout game like atmosphere. Or like at least been there for it, despite not going into it. It is crazy. It's awesome. I hate Penn State still, and it's more of a bias pick. Auburn +6 is going to be my pick. I might sprinkle money line, but for the pick, I'll take Auburn +6.
Yeah, I don't really love the spread too much. I'd lean Auburn just because I have no respect for State Penn. But I actually think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think Bo Nix lights it up, Sean Clifford lights it up, or they'll just throw pick sixes. So I'm leaning over 53. I think that's low for Auburn, specifically in the matchup. That's the only thing I really like.
Yeah, 60 points back-to-back weeks. They didn't really play the greatest teams of all time, but if you're putting up 60 in a football game, you're doing something right. Tank Bigsby is really fucking good, and I'm excited. The one thing Wisconsin did well against Penn State was run the ball. So if Auburn can do that, it'll be a very entertaining game. The way that I feel about this game is how I felt about Georgia Clemson, and I've been locked in on this pick since the spring going into the summer. I love Penn State -6.5. I think that they're going to really take Auburn and they're going to beat them down. I really love Penn State in this game. First whiteout back from post-COVID. Everything working in that, it would be really tough for me to take Auburn. I really love Penn State in this spot. This is a kind of a direction-changing win in a way, in the sense that started 0-5 last year. If they lose this game, James Franklin's 6-6 in his last 12, and honestly, he brings in a lot of great recruits. They have I think the #1 recruiting class next year as of today. But you have to start looking if you're a Penn State fan at, hey, he's 6-6, lost another big game. Like, what's going on here? It starts to creep into Jim Harbaugh-ish territory with Michigan. So yeah, love Penn State. I would lean the over too. I don't think I'm going to play it, but Ben, you brought up a lot of good points there. I like that. CBS, the classic 3:30 CBS game, is finally back for the SEC this week. Alabama going to the Swamp, 15.5 point favorites. Over under is 58.5. Ben, what do you think about this one?
Bet against Bama week 1 like an idiot. I didn't take them last week, so it's 50 points. They're probably going to be pissed this week. They didn't cover last week. Roll Tide. I don't even know. I think it's 15.5.
It is.
It's Bama. Why not?
Very.
I didn't love the 15.5. I get all the points. I will not bet against Bama because you don't make money, betting against Alabama. But I think, it being at the Swamp, it could be a little crazy. But I just love the points. I love the over. So I'm going to ride 58.5.
I like that call, Ferry.
I also like that call.
I may have to add that to the card later in the show.
I will be adding that to my card as well.
Yeah, I love it. Add it right now. Over 50.5. Yeah, I'm with Ben on Alabama. Just take Alabama. They're going to kill everyone. Yeah, that's it. I'm thinking 20 plus. Until that thing gets to 20, I think that Alabama is covering. What is interesting, and this will probably be completely irrelevant, is that Miami doesn't look that good anyway. Maybe Alabama just kicked the shit out of a bad team.
That's
No
possible.
disrespect to App State, because App State I think is
agree.
good. But yeah, if you're Miami, it shouldn't come down to a field goal, and you shouldn't be losing in the fourth quarter to Appalachian State. Next game, there's 3 ranked versus ranked matchups. This is the last of the 3. Arizona State going to BYU. BYU picking up a big win. A sneaky tough place to play that people don't talk about. Arizona State laying the 3.5. Over under is 51.5. Fair.
I almost made this my lock of the week, but I didn't. But I just love it. I love BYU +1.5 at home. I might have a little bit more bias because it made me happy to see it a program want to join the Big 12. So I got to ride with my future colleague at BYU. But I also don't like ASU. They've had all these issues off the field, like in the off season, and like a lot of I could just see that season going south. But anytime I see a home team that's ranked as a dog, unless it involves like a team like Alabama or something like that, I have to take it. I got to take them the points plus 3.5 BYU.
But
I was usually going to pick the over because I thought this game was at Arizona State. Knowing it's in Cougarville, I will also be picking BYU plus 3.5.
yeah, I'm gonna go the opposite of you guys. Go Arizona State minus 3.5 because I'm a chalk eating weasel, as they say, and I do like Arizona State. It is a tough place to play, and BYU, maybe a little extra motivation against Utah because the whole in-state rivalry. Isn't that like it's like Catholics versus, or it's like the Holy War? The Holy War, I think they call that. BYU and Utah, maybe.
Yes, you're
yeah,
right.
it is. Arizona State, we'll roll with there. I like Herm Edwards too much. I have to give him some respect. Big noon kickoff. Nebraska at Oklahoma, a former Big 12, Big 8 rivalry. Oklahoma laying the 22. The over-under is 61.5. Farrah, your thoughts on this one?
I don't love anything about it, to be honest. If I had to give a pick, I'm gonna take Oklahoma spread just because chalk it up. But and because Nebraska stinks, but I don't love it just because like that old Big 8 rivalry. I don't love taking big spreads in those type of games. But so I might not take it. I'll see how I feel. It's only Monday as we record this, so I could easily change my mind come Saturday. But if I had to pick Oklahoma spread.
I'm also on Oklahoma spread. Nebraska is a lost cause of a program, and they're never going to be back.
Never?
Yeah, I'm gonna. When they get rid of Scott Frost, let's see who they get after Scott Frost.
No, they'll still be bad after.
I'm going to take Oklahoma too. This is more because of how bad I think Nebraska is than how good I think Oklahoma is. Ultimately, and Oklahoma can score. We'll see what the defense actually looks like against a good team. Well, against a team that's not Western Carolina. That little side tangent when I was looking through checking off all the wins and losses, just because I knew this final score was 76-0. I didn't even look up what the first half spread was because all that we had written down was OU first half.
Same. I thought the same thing. I was like, I'm just going to count that as a win.
Yeah. So that there. Next game, I mainly put this on here because I just have a lot of thoughts. Purdue at Notre Dame. It's not a sexy game, and it'll probably be ugly and it'll probably be gross. The total's weirdly high. I didn't think it would be 58.5, which is telling me that it might be a shootout between Purdue and Notre Dame. Ben, we'll start with you on this one. Notre Dame is -7, over under is 58.5.
This may seem emotional, but I like Purdue. I think they'd probably snip some blood in the water, and they can probably have one of the bigger wins in Purdue history, winning at Notre Dame while they're still ranked. Because I still don't think they're that good of a football team. So I kind of like Purdue +7. I think they might win the game.
Barry?
I'm kind of the opposite. I like Notre Dame spread, but I just don't have. I've got too much pride to take it, so I won't root for that. I can't root for that program, but I don't know. I think they come out ready to roll. I mean, they're not as good as I can agree with that. They're not as good as everyone might have thought they might have been, but I think they cover with some ease this week. Not a lot, but just some ease.
Yeah, Ben, I'm with you on this one. I don't know if Notre Dame should be the 7-point favorite against anyone right now. They looked. It was two. This is like a line in the sand matchup. Like there's a in-state Indiana rivalry going on with Purdue and Notre Dame. Notre Dame, watching them through 3.5 quarters against Florida State, up 18, they blew the lead. Was kind of thinking, hey, the offense looks great. Jack Cohn had 400 yards with 4 touchdowns. All right, the offense can score. The defense has some issues. They blew that lead. Going to the next game, and really they gave up 7 sacks. It's like, oh, the line stinks now. They were alternating quarterbacks.
And Florida State stinks.
And Florida State loses to Jacksonville State. Is Florida State even good? And then with that sort of thing, and Florida State probably isn't good. But with that sort of thing, is that when you're in Notre Dame, when you're in Alabama, when you're in Georgia, when you're Ohio State, every time you play a team like that, it's their Super Bowl. So that's a Florida State first game back. It's rowdy. It's nuts. Like I saw a story that Mike Norvell, all of the recruits that were like scheduling visits for games, like he just brought them all to that game, and it was like, here, we're gonna fucking show you guys how Florida State rolls. Thank God they didn't go to the Jacksonville State game. So I kind of lost my train of basically the word, like going into the season, the thought from me was this: you have Kane Madden, who All-American transfer from Marshall. He's really good. He has more starts combined than the rest of the offensive line. Very young offensive line. The thought process there was, hey, they're young. They're always talented at Notre Dame, the offensive line. Maybe they can figure it out. First game, awesome. Second game, that was a complete disaster. We've got to see which team comes out. Is it going to be the team we saw against Florida State or the team we saw against Toledo? And that'll kind of dictate the rest of the season. It's coming up. You got Wisconsin, Cincinnati, Virginia Tech, USC, North Carolina, like all on the row. Like that's for that. That's going to be a murderer's row stretch. I still think that they can. I obviously have Notre Dame over 9 wins. I still think they can go 9-3, 10-2, just because I think they're more talented than the rest of their teams. But you have to show it on Saturday. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, what your star rating is. Outside of that, so I would say Purdue. Long story short, I just wanted to kind of get a brain dump there. I like Purdue plus 7.
Short story long. We love Purdue.
We like Purdue because Purdue. The one consistent thing about Notre Dame the first 2 weeks is that their defense is not good. Kyle Hamilton might be the best.
It's good.
He might be the best defensive back in the country, but everyone else is not good.
Yeah, he is good.
Yeah. Last of the big games, Virginia Tech going to West Virginia, -3, over under 50.5. First big game with the raucous crowd in West Virginia. Very obviously going to start with you on this one.
I try to come up with some reasons to not have my bias play a factor in this, but obviously West Virginia -3. I actually don't think Virginia Tech's that good. I only like them at home because of Hendon Hardman in a primetime type game situation. But my main reason, besides my bias, is I got to apply the college basketball theory, Chuck. They're an unranked team at home as 3-point favorites against a ranked team. you gotta apply it here. So West Virginia -3, easy.
I'm glad you said that because I took one look at this game and I loved it already. I love that exact theory. So I'm West Virginia -3.
Let's go.
What's the over under?
It's 50.5.
I'll go over. I could see West Virginia lining it up.
All right.
Is there any bad blood? Virginia Tech and West Virginia, is there a sort of rivalry since they're kind of neighbors in a sense?
Actually, switch it. I'm going under. This is Battle of Virginia right here.
They used to not like each other. The bad thing, I think it's been 5 or 6 years because we play them almost every year too, but roughly, but we haven't beat them in I think 10 years, something ridiculous, in the last 6 games.
Wow,
since Beamer's left, I don't think they've beaten them, which is, I guess, weird to say, but I don't think they beat them. But we've also just not been good.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. No, I still think like West Virginia a lot.
Doesn't matter. It's a pass.
Yeah. All right. So, any other closing thoughts on the big games before we get to our cards? / any other games that you may have deemed as big that you want to talk about? Ben, I don't know if you want to talk about Pitt, Western Michigan. Kind of go into that a little bit.
Not really worried. I've been betting Western Michigan. So I think week 2 I bet them, and I bet against them week 1. I've seen them play. I'm not too worried about the matchup at all.
Yeah, didn't they win 41-0 or something? You won with these in that bet.
Which one? Oh, Western Michigan, yeah.
Yeah, they shut out whoever they played.
Yeah,
And,
they played a really bad team.
my only
Don't
thought
worry about
is
it too much.
that Washington's really bad.
Agreed.
Washington stinks.
Yeah,
They might be
very bad.
worse than Stanford.
Mm.
That because we were talking about it off air. We'll talk about it on air. That was we were so aligned on USC and how Stanford stinks. And when I watched that game, I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like Stanford just is going up and down the field.
I didn't even watch the game. I found out the next day that USC. I thought they just won but didn't cover. I found out when the coach got fired that they didn't cover or that they lost, and then I found out the kicker got ejected on the first play.
I did not. I missed
Oh,
I
that.
didn't know
that game.
that. Wow.
For targeting.
All right, Ferry, if you want to start with your card.
I'll start off with some Friday night action. Again, like I said about the BYU, I got to also be a fan of my UCF 2 to 3 years. I get the Big 12. I want to welcome them to the Big 12. So I love UCF -7. And I also think Louisville just stinks too. So, I mean,
Add it to my card.
let's go. And Friday night.
What was the pick?
UCF -7 against Louisville.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
in. That was my card.
It's in Louisville, but doesn't matter. They stink.
All right, we ride here.
Let's go. I already said West Virginia. I said Cincinnati. Just got to keep riding the hot hand. Coastal -13.5 against Buffalo. Just got to keep riding that. Again, my trend here is Temple. I hate for whatever reason. I think they just are god awful, and they're playing Boston College at the link. Boston College taught me last week that they stink. They let up 28 points to UMass during red bandana game all night. That can't be happening. Therefore, both I have to hit under 50.5 because both teams stink and they can't score. Then I'm going to take Colorado, Minnesota under 50. I think it's weird body times for both teams because it's a 1 p.m. kickoff Eastern, but it's in Boulder, so 10 a.m. body time for everyone. But like a weird for Minnesota. I don't think the offense gets going for either side. 58.5 under. 50. No, under 50. It's under 50. Sorry, misread. Nevada, Kansas State. It's in Manhattan, but Kansas State lost their senior quarterback. Nevada -2. I already said over 58.5 for Miami, Florida. Then the good old Ohio State, Tulsa. Gotta take. It's gonna happen. It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit first half and full game, 26.5. Whatever first half is, it's gotta hit eventually. Then I have Arkansas -23.5. Going to keep riding them. I think they know how hard their schedule is, so I think they beat the piss out of Georgia Southern. Mississippi's
spread?
It was 23.5. So I like it.
I'm gonna add it to my card. Georgia Southern's terrible.
They do stink out loud. Mississippi State, Memphis over 63.5 is the line. Oh wait, no, I'm not taking that. I want Mississippi State -3. It's in Memphis, but I don't know. That I liked them last week against NC State. They prevailed, and I like them again -3. I don't think Memphis is any good. I already said Auburn +6, BYU +3.5, and then 12:30 a.m. kickoff, baby, for Hawaii. Just gonna take the over whatever time at like 10 o'clock that night, over 59.5. And I think that's it. Besides my lock of the week, which I'll announce when we do locks.
Ben, take it away.
So Cincy -3, we already discussed. Colorado -1 versus Minnesota. This is almost my lock. I love Colorado. I think they see blood. I think they see a lot of teams in the Pac-12 going down. They could have a good year, maybe make the Pac-12 championship. I think they're going to take this game seriously and win at home. Pitt -15 versus Western Michigan. I just think Pitt's better. And I don't know if Western Michigan can stop them because they have a very good offense.
Add it to my card.
Oklahoma -22 versus Nebraska, already discussed. Bama -15.5. Georgia -30 versus South Carolina. Last game, I think the spread was 20. They won by 60, I believe. I'll roll with the Bulldogs. UNC -9 versus Virginia. I think UNC has a strong middle of the season and stays ranked because I think they are actually good. They just had a bad first game. Tech UVA under 51. Fresno State plus 10 at UCLA. Fresno only lost by 7 to Oregon. I think they do similar to UCLA. I think they lose this game by single digits.
I'll add that. I'll take the Fresno State.
Auburn at State Penn over 53. Stanford's Vandy. Two terrible teams. I don't care that they beat USC. Stanford's still terrible. Under 59. Oklahoma State plus 3.5 versus Boise State, home underdog.
In Bedlam?
I believe.
Is that in Bedlam? Because I was looking at
so.
that, and I thought it was in Boise.
Oh, we gotta get a fact check on this.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Because I was looking at that game, and I was like, "What is this line?"
Let's see.
Why can't I find this game?
It is at Boise.
Oh, it's on the blue turf. Never mind, I'm flipping the pit. Boise State -3 at home. I just lost track of my thought. Nevada -2 versus Kansas State. I think Nevada is very good this year. I think they could beat a Power 5 team. BYU plus 3.5, UCF -7, Arkansas -23, all given by Ferry, I believe. And then I have my lock.
All right. Already talked about it. Alabama -15.5. Ohio State -26. They have, after the first 2 games, they've earned a let's just kick the shit out of a bad team game, and maybe a little getting right, get everything kind of going here. CJ Stroud gain some confidence. West Virginia -3, Penn State -6.5, Liberty -26. I'm going to continue to ride Liberty. I don't even remember who they're playing, but they're so much better than this team. It's going to be 30 plus. Northwestern -2.5. I don't even remember who they're playing against. Give me a second. I was doing this last night, like when I was right after the Rams and right before I went to bed. Give me a second here. Big Ten.
Duke. They're playing Duke.
Oh, Duke sucks. Duke is so terrible. That's it. Yeah, it was because Duke is so fucking terrible.
Add it to my card, my man.
Yep, I'll take it.
Oklahoma -22. Over 72.5 in Ole Miss Tulane. Tulane showed me a lot against Oklahoma that they can score. Their quarterback is tough as nails. I really like this over. I could see an 80, maybe even 90. Like, Ole Miss is going to score, and they can't stop anyone either. Fresno State +11. Everything Ben said. UCLA beat probably a bad LSU team and a bad Hawaii team. I think they keep it close. My coach just got fired, so the team's going to play really well for the interim lock of the year is USC -8.5 at Washington State. I think they come out and play well for this guy, so I'm taking that. Nothing from last game said that they're going to win this, but I'm taking it because the coach got fired.
Some things.
Yale spread. It hasn't come out yet. That's my Ricky Venuto lock of the year.
Oh, add it to my card. That's a soul pick. Add that to my card. I don't know what it is. I'm taking
That
it.
will be a fixture on the show every single week. I will take Yale.
That's a lock.
What's awesome is they play UConn this year. So that will be probably my lock when that comes around. It will be Yale against UConn. Purdue +7, over 58.5 in Florida, Alabama, courtesy of Ferry. UCF -7, courtesy of Ferry. Arkansas -23, courtesy of Ferry. And Pitt -15, courtesy of the Bun Man. Lock of the week. You guys saw this coming. Cincinnati -3. We already talked about it, so I'll just leave it at that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Ferry, your lock.
So my lock of the week, we're gonna bring out the man in the suit reference. I love this other side of this pick so much that I'm gonna have to fade it and take the other side. You can call me as crazy as you want. It's crazy. Like I don't even know, but I'm gonna make it my lock of the week because why not? Florida State +5.5. It's my lock of the week.
Against who?
Ooh,
Wake Forest at Wake Forest. I love Wake Forest.
You keep picking these grimy games like Temple, Akron, Wake Forest,
Dude.
Florida State.
Dude, I thought Wake Forest 5.5 would be the easiest thing ever because of the last 2 weeks with Florida State. But I don't know. But since I love it so much, I'm like, nope. Gonna go Florida State. Maybe they come out, after a tough loss. The last 2 weeks have been tough losses. Maybe they, just keep it close against Wake Forest, despite Wake Forest has looked good this year against bad teams.
My lock of the week
My lock of the week, I think this is way too many points to give this team. They're a dog. I think they might win outright at the U. Michigan State, they've been performing the last 2 weeks. I think they can win this game.
I do like that pick.
I
Plus
like that
6.5.
pick a lot, Ben. I like that pick a lot. Yeah. So any closing thoughts here going into week 3?
Go Nears.
Go News. Okay.
H to P. Hail.
Yeah. All right. Awesome, guys. That was week 3. College football pick 'em on Chuck's chat. We're all going to be 500 or better after this week.
Yes, sir.
my
I
lock of the
agree.
week.
I'm going undefeated. We're riding together.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wait. I actually forgot a pick.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Hawaii plus 7 versus San Jose.
There we go.
State.
There we
go.
man.
Alright.
I
Now
don't
San
know how
Jose
I skipped
State's on
over it.
island.
Yeah.
Yeah, San Jose State's on Island time this weekend.
I might have to watch that game.
12:30 a.m. on Sunday.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I might have to watch that game. That might be really good.
Hawaii will be ready.
Yeah.
I don't know how I skipped over that, but
Yeah, all right. That's been the college football pick 'em on Chuck's chat YouTube. Let's make some money.